day, so good on him for that as well. All right, we got to put a pick to it. Khabib a heavy favorite here, as we know, minus 360. Gaethje, meanwhile, great value, 3-1 underdog with knockout prowess. BC, what are we in store for Saturday when this fight rolls around?
I think we're in store for a very interesting fight from this standpoint. Nobody makes Khabib fight their fight, right? It's typically he's in control and you last until you're done surviving, until you give up on the inside or he submits you and beats you down. Justin Gaethje may be the first to be able to have really periods of his own momentum. Look, he is such a dominant striker. He's so dangerous. One-punch knockout power, his ability to land big strikes from short angles and really get up on you and land those kicks. Obviously, his mentality, his ability to absorb damage is what you give him a greater chance than recent Khabib Nurmagomedov opponents in this case. I do think his physicality and his wrestling foundation could play a big role here. We don't see him from standpoint, but he's talked heading into this fight about keeping his back off the cage, and once he does get taken down, look, he knows it's an inevitability to get back up. Let's look back at when Khabib did win this title. Short notice against Al Iaquinta. He won the 5-round decision, but once Iaquinta was able to keep himself off the ground, that became a different fight. That became more of a stand-up fight. If you enter into a stand-up fight with Justin Gaethje in the championship rounds when he's still as dangerous as ever, this could be a tough night at the office. I said Tony Ferguson was maybe the only lightweight capable of ending Khabib Nurmagomedov's streak. Then Gaethje went out there and stopped Tony Ferguson. And violent good Justin Gaethje is. I want to fight out on Saturday. He is a live dog, Joe, and you better believe that.
I echo a lot of what Brian has to say in terms of the good things about Justin Gaethje. He is a live dog. I totally agree. In fact, looking at the odds, if you wanted to play a situation where you wanted to maybe take a look at an underdog for betting purposes, I wouldn't mind taking a flyer on Justin Gaethje. But I am going to pick Nurmagomedov, and the reason why is when he has tough weight cuts or he's got opponents with decent takedown defense, as I mentioned, 6 out of 10 he doesn't even get. He still finds a way to win. I'm going to go back to that work rate, right? Justin Gaethje has said outright in interviews previously, the reason he doesn't wrestle unless he has to is because it makes him tired. That is a little bit concerning to me, especially in a 25-minute fight. I think someone like Nurmagomedov, he can wrestle even when he's not getting the upper hand almost the entire time. Now, sometimes he takes the 3rd round off if it goes long, but for the most part, if he really has to wrestle, even if he's just pressing you into the fence or trying to off-balance you, he can keep that up all day. And if you're not used to that in the way that he is, and basically nobody is, it is exhausting. And so I feel like Justin Gaethje might get a couple of rounds early, but by the time the fight goes late, he's just not going to be the same fighter anymore. I think the other thing I would add to that is, in order to pick Gaethje, we've never really seen him wrestle anyone of Nurmagomedov's caliber. It is true, if you look at the actual tape, he's very good about not putting his back along the fence line. He's very strong, and he's very good about finding defensive angles in the wrestling's various positions. But against people who are not even close to the level of Nurmagomedov, you have to make a broad set of assumptions in order to pick Gaethje. That doesn't mean you're necessarily wrong, but you're assuming a lot of risk in that case. I'm going to go with the safer pick. I'm going to pick Nurmagomedov.
It will be Will versus Want on Saturday afternoon. We got to talk co-main here momentarily as well. Middleweights Robert Whittaker and Jared Cannonier are going to do battle. It was supposed to be the co-main at